40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim. Forty Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim. Forty Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to tonight's coverage of the Area 51 Truck Superspeedway Series here on Green, White, Checkered TV. Had an off week, but we are back in action at the World Center of Racing in Daytona Beach, Florida. 75 laps of scheduled distance at this very famed oval for stock car and also sports car racing. Looking forward to another opportunity here at Daytona for this season, and a great race, I'm sure, in store for you race fans here tonight. And we've got, obviously, the voice of Boomer Logan here in the booth, and my good buddy Brandon Briggs also alongside of me here tonight. Brandon, how's it going, and how'd you spend your off week there?
Yeah, it was nice to get a nice off week and just relax and Enjoy a Friday night. Not that I don't enjoy it here, but it was nice to just be with the family and actually took the kids to play some football in Wisconsin, believe it or not. But excited to be back here at Daytona. Glad to be back up here with you, calling hopefully another great race.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Obviously, Daytona's one of the tracks we go to the most with the new 14 race schedule. We throw an extra Daytona and Talladega in there, and then one less Atlanta and iRacing Superspeedway for the season. But yeah, a lot of fun. Definitely, kind of little bread and butter. You see the daytime. It's about 9. Looks like it's about 9:10 a.m. in the sim. So it's going to be an early morning race. Obviously, the weather is nearly perfectly sunny. A little partly cloudy, a little bit of wind, but a nice 68 degrees. So obviously, staying dry. No chance of rain in the forecast for tonight, which is always a bonus for iRacing. And should be a good race tonight, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a good race to come back off of a break. You know what you're getting when you come to Daytona. It's gonna be a lot of two wide racing and until the end, I think, and that's when that third lane comes into effect, and that's when chaos really starts to pick up. So I think the name of the game is gonna be staying with that lead pack tonight, boom, and not fading away.
Yeah, trying to stay up there is going to be huge as always. Making sure you're making the right moves to be in the hunt and be there at the end in that group. So, going to make a big difference whether you can hang on to that draft or not. And we'll see how it all unfolds as qualifying wraps up here now. And we'll take just a second for iRacing to move on to the next portion of the session. And you see the little glitch there tells us that we are ready to go, and we will see trucks starting to make their way on to pit road here, and a solid 27 car field that looks like here tonight as we get ready to pull up that for you here, that starting grid. And you'll see that 24 truck of Everett Lane for Team Boudnaka. He is going to take the pole position for tonight. Les Levy in the number 62 Chevrolet to his outside. Bud Steele in the Ford for Roswell Motorsports is going to be starting inside of row number 2. And another Team Boudnaka driver, Eric Laurie, in the 071 to his outside. We got Charles Johnson there in the 5th starting position for tonight, and Dean Wilkinson there starting outside of row number 3. Hayden Davis and Thomas Holder are going to make up the 4th starting row of the grid for tonight. And we have Robert. We'll have to update his name. That should be Robert Hooligan, and we'll get that squared away. So Robert Hooligan joining us for the first time in a little while in the 126. Coming back to Area 51, Vicente Guerrero in the 14, racing here tonight as well. He's going to start inside the top 10. And we got Joshua Highbaugh and Justin Davis side by side on row number 6. Next page of the grid there, Dale Rapp in the 52 for Silver Fox Racing. And actually, I believe that's his teammate there. Gary Huffines is actually no, sorry. Gary Huffines is running with Roswell Motorsports, so they are side by side on row number 7. And we have Keedy Ingstrom all the way from Sweden in the 15th starting position with Doug Webb in the 714 to his outside. Mike Allen and Adam Kilday, the 9th row of your starting grid, and in the top 20 we have Paul Witt and Anthony Lane. David Overstreet and Robert Amaral are going to share the 11th row, where Jack Walls and Bob Fitzgerald are going to share the 12th. And a few more names for you here. Gabe Butler having an issue on his qualifying, takes a slower qualifying time, going to start 25th for tonight. Then Jim Brooks and David Fashholtz, who elected not to take a qualifying time for tonight, will start at the back of the field as we roll around here and get ready for 75 laps of high-speed action.
Yeah, tough break for the 88. We've seen how hard it is to, especially here at Daytona, to go from the back to the front and not be caught up in any chaos or any mess. So a tough break there for him. And you can see how just important qualifying was tonight. Boom, that top 10 is stacked, including the pole sitter Everett Lane. The last time we brought these trucks to Green White Checker TV, he put it in victory lane. So keeping that hot streak up.
Yeah, definitely a hot streak for sure. And we're going to see if anybody else can contend with him for tonight's race. Obviously, we mentioned 75 laps is that scheduled distance. Looking forward to bringing you that flag-to-flag coverage as always here on Green White Checkered TV, and we are just about ready to start this one. In just a moment, the pace car is going to dive onto pit road, and we are going to see Everett Lane, the control car for the initial start for tonight's race, take off, and away we'll be. Inside lane and pole position for Everett Lane. Green flag is in the air through the Geico restart zone. Away they go. Another race here on Friday nights.
One heck of a push there by the 6 of Bud Still, getting that inside lane really, really going. Everett had about a whole truck out there once they got about to the end of that little dog leg there. It's gonna pick back up here with the 071 as they come down the backstretch. How about for that 071? Boom, got a pretty good starting spot there, starting on the outside of that second lane. Had some rough luck to start out the season. Hopefully, he can turn that around tonight.
Yeah, definitely has not had some of the moments he's wanted to have, but I mean, a really strong push for him as he gets a 62 clear, and that puts Les Levy ahead to the lead, and they will now battle side by side. Pole sitter will not have a chance to lead this first lap unless anything changes off of 4. Doesn't look like it will, so Les Levy looks like he may grab the bonus point as Eric Laurie gets a run. It will be the 62, though, with the bonus point first of the night, and 2 by 2 we go throughout the entire field.
Yeah, nice smooth run here, but you can really see there with that 24 on that inside lane. He wants to keep that line rolling and stay up front, just showing how important track position here is at Daytona, even early here in the early run as we roll off on lap 2.
Yeah, definitely important to keep that track position, be as far forward as you possibly can. Obviously, we'll talk about it through, different pit cycles and everything that could develop throughout the night. But that's definitely the key thing is, being out front and being in the right position when it counts. Obviously, a couple drivers kind of hanging back in the back of the pack, just kind of riding out early on. But one of our bigger movers so far is Gabe Butler. He is already up 6 spots and starting to move a little bit forward. He's kind of at the tail end of some of the too wide chaos here, but he's making up a couple spots at least to start up 5, and I don't think anybody else, actually Adam Kilday now up 5 as well, and Paul Witt up 4, so quite a few movers from the back to the front, but for the most part the front staying pretty status quo.
Yeah, we got somebody that's already hopped out to that third lane, and they're picking it up. And I like this move, Boom. We at Daytona this season, we've seen nobody use that third lane. And when the drivers did have to use the third lane, chaos started. So I like that. Get the drivers comfortable with a 3-wide racing, and let's pick it up a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like that is Robert Hooligan and Adam Kilday. Robert wasting no time to get back into the action and have some fun. Actually, I take it back. Robert, there you see the 126 is on the inside, so that is the 429 of Paul Witt, actually, with Adam Kilday, and they are making a hard charge to the front. And look who else they have in tow now with them. Gabe Butler is going to take that third lane and try to see what he can do up there to get forward. And he's got a huge run heading into turn 3 as the 85 and the 429 get clear down to the middle lane.
Holy smokes, is this the truck of tomorrow? It reminds me of when NASCAR brought the car tomorrow to Superspeedways, how quick two vehicles could go. Them boys just hauled around and passed those guys on the backstretch like they were sitting still. That I think is going to open up a lot of drivers' eyes tonight that, hey, if we need to, we can make a move and make it work.
Yeah, Dean Wilkinson's going to jump up there to the high side now and pick up the 88, and Vicente Guerrero there as well. Some new colors, still the same cheerwine for the 55 of Dean Wilkinson, as he's actually currently in the lead down the back straightaway. We'll see if he can get clear or not, but plenty of 3-wide action early on here as the 55 does get clear to the middle, not to the bottom though, as the 88 and the 14 continue to run that third lane all the way at the top.
Yeah, this is when I think when you're running that third lane, you're really thinking to the guy on the bottom, please hold your line. Please hold your line. It's because it's so tight and narrow here. And a lot lot tighter than Daytona or Talladega, excuse me. So one wrong bobble here, and you can wad up a lot of trucks.
Yeah, but we've seen this though more this season. Obviously, with one of the most recent updates to the trucks, we've had a lot of drivers say like obviously it's still on edge, but they've also said that it's much more controllable, or at least it seems so in the draft. And some of that's due to setup, some of that's due to obviously the most recent updates from iRacing for this vehicle. But these trucks are definitely proving this season to have quite a bit of grip and a decent amount of stability to be able to make some crazy moves. I tell you what, it's made for some really great racing so far this season.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely has, and it's just the driver and me coming out. If you're the truck in the middle and you can't back out or you can't get out of there, and them temps start to get hot, and the drivers have talked about it, how quickly the temps can shoot up, and or sometimes it not even give you a heads up that it's getting too hot and it can get away from you. But I tell you what, for being three wide racing, these boys are doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, so far so good. The 14 and the 071 are still trying their hand at that third lane. The 55 and the 88 are now clear out to the lead, and Dean Wilkinson has the advantage over the 62 and will drop to the bottom as the 88 has teammate behind him, and he's going to jump back up to that third lane and try to get them moving forward more. Back to the middle he goes. Gabe leads that lap.
Yeah, Vicente right there. I believe that was on the outside. It got a little tight for a second. I think these guys answered the question if they were ready to get behind the wheel or not. I think this week off for these guys really amped this race up.
Yeah, definitely a lot of aggression so far. Obviously, Gabe Butler having an issue there in qualifying and definitely making up for it by already leading laps here within the first 10 laps of the race. Didn't take him too much time to get up to the front. And also Paul Witt there in that 429, he's still hanging around about the top 5 or so. Had a pretty solid run there. One of the first guys to actually jump all the way to that outside with Adam Kilday, and they're still up there in the third and fourth positions in that middle lane or outside lane as it is now. And yeah, definitely a strong showing for them. Gabe is up 23 spots, Paul Witt's up 13, and Adam is now up 10 at the moment.
Yeah, sometimes I think Gabe's just listening, and then he hears like, "Oh, it's going to be pretty tough to go from the back to the front tonight." Qualifying had some bad luck. What does he do? 2, 3, 4 laps, he's right back up there, just making it look easy, and that's probably half the reason why he's got 2 wins tonight. And one guy that I didn't see tonight is Cody Nagels. Didn't see his truck in here tonight, so um, gonna back him up a little bit from Gabe.
Yeah, Gabe already has the current point lead in the standings by honestly a decent margin. So that's going to potentially increase that lead, as obviously Cody has been one of the front runners so far early on this season. But Gabe coming in tonight with that points lead and hoping to pad more of it here as he starts this race up front.
Yeah, and it really helps. He gets right up there and he gets those bonus points, and at a track like this, like I still think those guys hopped up out there on the third lane, but we can see it's now calmed down, and these guys are just pacing some laps, really putting some laps down, and probably starting to work with their team and maybe about getting in position for that first pit stop. I'd assume that's maybe 8 to 10 laps away, and so that's when them bonus points really start to come far and in between. And if you can have one mistake on this first pit stop, it really puts a nail in your night. So him being aggressive and taking that move is really paying off.
Yeah, that was a good opportunity to get up to the front and not really have to worry about too much at the back. Obviously, he's got a few teammates around him. Everett Lane still working in the bottom, and the 071 fell back a few spots, but he's still up there in that top 10, top 15-ish. Actually, he scored 11th at the moment. But yeah, there's a lot of very strong cars up at the front of this pack so far, as you mentioned, probably within about 10 laps before we get to our first set of pit stops. And Adam Kilday and now Charles Johnson, the last winner that we had in this series, jumps to the high side, and they're going to make it 3 wide and see what they can do to get to the front of this thing.
Yeah, ooh, it's gonna got pretty tight there. It's probably good that the little two teammates there controlling those inside and middle lane to really make it even harder there on the 85. So I got a little bit of moving around back there in the middle, but so far so clear as the 88. I don't think he's gonna have him. Nope, 85 still out front.
Bottom surges ahead into turn 3 and 4. We'll see what kind of a run they can generate in the middle, as the 24 is actually going to jump to that middle, and he's going to take over the lead of that second lane in front of his teammate there. That promotes Dean Wilkinson to the lead of the bottom, pushed by Les Levy. And then we have, obviously, the 85 and the 9 still working in that high lane at the moment. And for the point standings, so obviously Cody Nagels came in tonight second. Obviously not going to be collecting any points for not being able to be here tonight, but he's about 18 points behind Gabe Butler. The next car in third is 42 points behind Gabe, and that is Les Levy. So Les is looking to have continue a pretty strong run in the point standings for him. Adam Kilday is just 2 points behind Les Levy and actually tied with Everett Lane. And then Jim Brooks, who's had a really great start to his season, is another 3 points back. But obviously, the biggest thing to remember about all that is you just got to be in the top 12 or 16, depending on the playoff field size. Just have to be in that group to advance forward and compete for I think we've stretched it to 6 races at the end of the season for the playoffs. So actually no, I take it back, it's still 4-race playoff. We have the 2 extra races in the regular season, so 10 races in the regular season and then a 4-race playoff to complete the year. So definitely looking forward to that. So obviously it's early on. Obviously Gabe has had a top 5 in every start that he's had this season, and he hopes to continue that again tonight, and has had a really great run. But obviously those 4 races in the playoffs are really where that champion is crowned and where that makes the most difference. You got to get there first, though, obviously. So a couple guys having a really good start to their season to be in good contention for that.
Yeah, and there's some guys that's right on the bubble. With David Overstreet, he's got a win already this year, and he's sitting right there in 12th. But the guy sitting in 17th, Eric Laurie, he's only 7 points behind him. So that's where my focus is. A couple of these guys up here, that they're pretty good off in the points. That bubble from 12th to 17 is really, really tough and tight, and that's the fellas that really can't afford to make a mistake as this season trickles down.
Yeah, there's as you mentioned, that there's really only about 7 points between all of that. So right around the cutoff line is definitely getting exciting for sure. So those are the guys that you want to probably pay attention to the most to see how they're doing and how their season is going so far. Rick Sanchez, I think, is in 10th tonight, so he may actually be in danger of falling out of the playoffs, as obviously he's not able to be here either. So the absence of a couple drivers that are usually regulars in the series, but no harm, no foul so far. 85 is now stuck out on the high side by himself. Curious if anybody else is going to jump to that third lane, or if they're just going to let him kind of fall back, as the 9's going to jump out and try to help him get back up to the front there. Working on lap number 17, Vicente Guerrero leads the middle, Everett leads the inside, and the 85 of Adam Kilday leads the outside at the moment, and there is no urgency to get down single file for pit stops yet.
Yeah, no, there's not any urgency, but these fellas are moving all around this track. We've seen the 14 of Vicente Guerrero. He went all the way to the top, and Gay followed him, and if I didn't know any better, I thought the 429 was going to fill that spot down there, and it was going to cause chaos as the 9 goes around here. Oh, is he going to save it? Nope. Caution is going to be out.
Doesn't look like too much damage there. Saved it pretty quickly, but obviously got at least 90 degrees to the racing surface, and iRacing throws the yellow in that condition. So we're going to try and rewind it here and see if we can understand exactly what happened here. You see it already unfolding into turn number 3. It just kind of spins in front of the 46 of David Overstreet. There you see, obviously, was enough to get the caution thrown. Man, a big checkup for the 64. A really great effort from Keedy Engstrom to not run into the back of that 9, and a really heads-up move for Keedy there. That was a great opportunity to save a few more cars and get on the brakes hard to avoid that number 9. And yeah, definitely a big move for him. we'll try and we'll rewind it just a little bit here, see if we can see a little bit more as we head into the turn 3 here. So obviously it was the 9 in the outside lane. And we'll see as they turn into 3 here if we can understand exactly how this started. Doesn't really have a push from behind from Keedy there. So I'm curious if we can see from this angle if there was maybe any netcode, or it looks like the 9 comes down just a little bit. Hard to tell if that's netcode or not, but that, I mean, it's fairly tight racing, and obviously just a little bit of contact there between the 9 and the 46, and thankfully again with that heads up move from Keedy, definitely not a lot of damage to a lot of cars at all. So a pretty calm, quiet first wreck for tonight, as everyone's going to come down pit road, led by first pit stall Everett Lane. He gets out and away, and he should grab the lead, and Dean Wilkinson will have to concede that spot to him as they come off of pit road. Seeing a lot of 8 and 9 second pit stops, which assumes probably maybe right side tires, but for sure fuel, and definitely not obviously 4 tires. So lots of fuel and not a lot of much else on pit road as they come down for that first caution.
Yeah, and I know we don't congratulate iRacing a lot, but I do want to congratulate them there, because if they don't throw that caution in, and Charles is able to save that like he does, and that field gets to break apart like that, and them guys back there have to pit in a couple laps, as slow as they were, that makes a bad race for a couple guys. So shout out to them for keeping this race civil at this time.
Civil so far indeed, and we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back for the restart. Everett Lane will be the control car for the first restart, as he was for the initial start of the race. Dean Wilkinson up 4 spots is going to start P2. Bud Steele there, third car, actually fourth car in line as a 62 catches up there. So Les Levy will be in third to start, and the 6 of Bud Steele to the outside in the 4th position. 429 and 85 are going to be side by side on row number 3, and we will be back to green flag action momentarily. Lights are off on the pace car, which means it'll come in this time by, and we'll get going green again.
Yeah, shock. Boom. Under caution here. None of these guys up front took tires, just fuel only. We have seen with this setup this year that, the tires do come into a factor, and I think these drivers will get a little bit calm as this race maybe starts to go on, and those tires really start to come into factor as we go back green here. And that outside line of the 55 of Dean Wilkins got a really, really good start there all by himself. He's going to need some help, though, to clear the 24 as they side by side as they go into turn 1.
2 by 2 into 1 they go. The 24 inches ahead into turns 1 and 2. We'll see if the 55 and the 6 can link up on the outside and get a good run down the back straightaway here. And it looks like they will. The 55 ahead of the 24 at the moment. Will he have enough to get down in front of our leader in the inside? No, they won't. They'll stay 2 by 2 to the outside. And they'll come back around to be working on lap number 21 of, again, scheduled distance 75 laps for tonight.
Yeah, Boom. At what point, we're gonna still go about another month and a half until the playoffs. But at what point would you think, as a driver that's back there on that bubble or getting close, when you get in a position maybe up front where you're gonna say, I'm gonna be a little bit aggressive, even though we're early in the race, I have to start being aggressive. I understand, maybe more guys up here are in the points and doing very good. But at what point do you say, all right, no more nice guys? We see guys jumping up to that third lane.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you kind of want to run your race. I mean, I've always been under the impression that if you can, try to be up at the front and do as much as you can to kind of control your own destiny. Obviously, if you can be ahead of the chaos, that usually ends up working out the best. But a lot of chaos can also start from the front as well. So it's definitely one of those things where you just kind of got to manage your race. And obviously these guys are pretty smart at it, and not everybody can be leading at the front, so some guys are sticking back in the back of the pack, just kind of waiting it out to see what happens. And yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously we're halfway through the regular season. I think at this point you could maybe afford to have a bad race, maybe 2, as long as you can execute for that final 3 heading into those playoffs. But if you're in the bubble, it's definitely one of those things where you kind of want to try to maximize every opportunity that you can get here.
Yeah, and what always just scared me when I ran was the different types of tracks that we have to go to. I was always, and when we went to Talladega, that's when I felt like I could be the most aggressive because I thought of iRacing. There's so many ways that your race can go south there, and now with Atlanta, how slick it can get and how quickly it can eat up the tires on the vehicles. We got some bumping up front. As Everett Lane is able to hang on to it, and these guys keep it rolling still 3 wide. But there was so many tracks where you could be taken out easier. It's going to get really, really tight here, Boom. As these guys, they're not letting up.
Oh, there goes around the 55.
Yeah, there was. That was brewing. The third lane has really kicked in tonight, and unfortunately, these guys in the back are going to be victim to it.
That was definitely the biggest wreck we've had. Obviously, only the second, but that was much bigger than the first, and we'll get a good view of it here. We'll jump back to the yellow flag, see if we can see as it happens here. And you see the 55 and the 429 just kissing front bumpers there, and that is going to set off a chain reaction that definitely takes out quite a few cars. Jack Walls there, the 071, the 46 nowhere to go, the 64 gets into it, and yeah, pretty much everybody at that point is just kind of along for the ride. And does anybody else? Yeah, the 101 gets in it. Gabe Butler is going to get a piece of the 83 there. 101 is around the 52, slides in a little late, but I don't think he actually took too much damage. And I don't think the 13 of Mike Allen got a ton of damage either, even though he gets hit by the 071 there at the end, and everyone else at the back able to check up enough to not have to worry about too much damage. So definitely going to be a fast repair for quite a few guys. We do have 2 of them, which helps. And we'll see who's going to make what pit calls for strategy. Obviously, assuming our typical, 20 to 25 laps or so on fuel. So, could still be advantageous for all these guys to come down. And it looks like most of these guys are going to try and at least take fuel. Probably, I'm assuming not tires, but we will see as they come down and get service to these trucks.
Man, unfortunate break. We talked about it at the beginning, but the 071, nowhere to go. Dang, unfortunate for him. We were talking about it. Just cannot catch a break and just gets caught up, it seems like, and and the big one every time it happens. And I think you nailed it. Boom, there. It looks like the 85 fuel only for him.
Yep, yeah, about 6 seconds there, so definitely fuel only for the 85. Vicente Guerrero is going to come out ahead, though, just in front of Everett Lane, then Adam Kilday. So we will have everybody on pit road. Eric Laurie from 15th on back to Gabe Butler are all getting or spending extensive time on pit road either for 4 tires or some damage repair. So while they get those trucks back into action, we will take a quick break, and we're going to hear from 4D Racewear this time.
.40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. .40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
Couple of drivers coming back down pit road to grab a little extra fuel there and give up that track position. Vicente Guerrero and Everett Lane will be side by side. So for the first time, Vicente will be the control car, and a car other than the 24 of Everett Lane will start in the first position, though Everett still on the front row, as he has been pretty much all night long. And a lot of damage repair to a lot of trucks out there. I see David Overstreet spending about a minute and a half on pit road. Eric Laurie doing the same, just trying to make sure that they can get as much damage fixed on those trucks as possible, and then everybody else pretty much looks like they would have burned their fast repairs to get back in this. So everybody all the way back to 26th place. Gabe Butler is on the lead lap still, and you can see all the single file cars behind the leaders are the guys that came down pit road a second time, as Vicente Guerrero is going to lead us back to the green.
Yeah, good start again there by that outside lane, really getting going. But this time the bottom lane not really good at all. This is going to give maybe chance for Everett to drop ahead down to the bottom. He sticks it out with Charles Johnson on that outside lane as the inside lane starts to push back there with Vicente Guerrero and Levy.
Doing good on the bottom so far. The outside has good momentum down the back straightaway, though. The 9 and the 24 linked up pretty well. And then that is the 126 of Robert Hooligan, third car in the outside lane. Like I said, it's been a minute since we've seen Robert here in the series, but excited to have him back again tonight. And him and Paul Witter side by side having pretty solid nights for themselves. Obviously, Robert started up here and towards the front, and Paul has climbed his way up 13 spots at the moment. to get up here, and a pretty good run for the pair of them for tonight. And Everett Lane working on the high side still with the 9 of Charles Johnson, trying to get ahead, and he will, of the 14 of Vicente Guerrero.
Yeah, our points leader was caught up in that wreck also. He found himself, I believe it was back maybe 23rd, 24th position. So gonna have to restart what he did at the beginning of the race, and that's drive that 88 truck right back to the front. And as Cody Nagels is watching, that's what he's hoping to see. Just some unfortunate luck for the 88, so the damage ain't as bad to him. But we still got a good 45 laps to go, and truck I'm keeping my eye on. He's made his way up to the front. He's up to 7th. That's the 51 of Jim Brooks, having a good run so far here tonight.
Yeah, definitely a good run for him. He looks like he's maybe trying now. He's not going to jump to the outside there, but that outside lane is already rolling really strong with looks like the 55 of Dean Wilkinson. Yep, and then Keith Engstrom, as well as I believe that's David Overstreet. No, that's the 52 of Dale Rapp, excuse me. They are working on that high side. Stalling out a little bit there at about, 11th place or so. But that third lane has really been able to form. And oh no, we've got a wreck into the inside wall. Goes the 00 of Gary Huffines. And that is not going to bring a caution out because it was not near the racing surface. So he is unfortunately going to come down pit road. He has to obey pit road speed. May also have an unsafe pit entry penalty to serve. Not entirely sure, but that is definitely difficult for Gary Huffines, and he is going to lose that draft and have to come back and get caught by the field a lap down.
Yeah, very tough break. iRacing is just like NASCAR or the Truck Series. If it's below the apron, a lot of times, and you're able to save it, they're not gonna call the caution, and racing stays underway. And like you said, very tough break there for him because unfortunately he's gonna have to go a lap down when this field catches him, and then hopefully not have to come down and serve a penalty, which would eventually cost him another lap. And it looks like one more car also is going to fall there off the pack, and it looks like it's maybe going to be the 10 of Justin Davis.
Yeah, you saw Justin Davis kind of head down there, so not sure if it was the 10 that the 00 was sliding in front of, or if they made contact in any way. But that's going to hurt Justin Davis as well. Gary Huffines now about 30 seconds behind the pack, and about 46-second laps, so they're only about 15 seconds ahead of the leaders or less. And this pack is very hungry and very 3 wide at the moment.
Yeah, I think some of these guys that week that we talked about, they hadn't had no racing in their blood for over a week, and so we're getting 2 weeks of racing in one night here on Friday night. But isn't that how Friday night's supposed to be? Exciting and having you on the edge of your seat. So hats off to these drivers. They're doing one heck of a job. We have had a caution, but for the most part, 3 wide for a good portion of the race, and want some heck of good racing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw some really good 3 wide for quite a while there. As you see, the 64 and the 88 are trying to continue to make that happen. The 88's going to jump down to that middle lane as I say that. And oh no, we got another one going around towards the bottom. Is that Joshua Heiba? It is. Same situation, almost identically, but because it's not near the racing surface, he is going to not draw a yellow flag, and that is going to put the 101 at a big disadvantage.
Yeah, he's got to get that thing, pick it up, back and rolling, and just like you said, the unfortunate of that spot, and it's maybe them guys just coming off of turn 4 and trying to maybe get that hole that they think they've cleared, and it just not being clear, and guys going right around. So unfortunately, nobody else getting collected, and these guys are able to keep racing. As we talked about at that 88, he's made his way all the way back up to the front, leading that 3rd lane, and hopefully he can get some help and put it back on the outside of his teammate there of Everett Lane as he is going to lead lap 35.
He's got Adam Kildee in the 85 helping him at the moment. We'll see if they can both clear or if the 88 is going to leave the 85 out to dry. But the 9 and the 126 lead the middle lane, and the 24 and the 14 continue to lead that inside lane. as now we're only about 3 rows deep in the 3 wide action here at the front of this pack, working on lap number 35. Ooh, a little bit of a squirrely moment there for the 9 down the back straightaway, and it's going to cause a caution.
Big hit to the outside wall. I do not know what truck that was, but somebody took a massive hit, and it looks like the 51 and Jim Brooks is going to be involved also here.
Yeah, we'll try and see if we can understand who that was that had that big impact. You saw the 9 just getting a little squirrely there, and then the 62 hits that outside wall really hard. So does the 64, the 9, the 55 gets caught up in it. And then Bud Steele getting into the back of the 51 as they're checking up there. And then 19 is going to make contact with the 51 as well. And I think just about everybody else was able to check up enough there. The 52 getting a little loose on the apron, but 83 gets through okay, and it's most of the damage that we saw. So for what that was, a little bit of a late hit there on the 51, and Jim Brooks got pummeled by a few people there, unfortunately. But yeah, definitely not the greatest for a couple drivers, but probably the worst off is maybe Les Levy at the moment. I think he actually had to tow back to pit road. No, he did. He drove back to pit road, but nonetheless, definitely some damage to be repaired on that number 62. But this helps the 00 and the 101 and the 10 out quite a bit, as they are going to be able to catch back up to the leaders here and regain their position on the lead lap.
Yeah, I can only imagine what it's like in that Roswell chat right now. I can only hear Bud yelling at Jim, "Your brake lights didn't come on." All fun here, but we'll head to a commercial break.
So we'll continue our conversation that we were having here up in the booth during that commercial break, but we were talking about all the 3 wide action that we've seen. Obviously, a couple yellows so far, but for the most part, I mean, it's pretty exciting to get to see these guys going 3 wide like they are. And one of the things that we were talking about is, especially for myself and some of my own experiences, I feel like in some ways it's harder to drive these cars at super speedways here in the sim, just because it's just so much harder on a computer to get an idea of where the front bumper of your car is, or the right side or the left. And obviously, Brandon, you brought up a point about the noise, and like you can hear cars around you, but it's definitely kind of an interesting dynamic. That difference of, hey, this is, call it a video game if you want. Obviously, some prefer the term simulation because it's about as realistic as you can get for, again, a video game. But definitely takes a lot of skill to do this, especially at these speeds.
Yeah, and especially with the package and the setup that they bring to these speedway trucks and cars, is that when them gaps close so quick, it looks like for a second that you are clear, or because you can't just turn your head and look and say, oh yeah, I got plenty of room to get over. It doesn't work that way. I am 100% with you. Definitely tougher here on iRacing as we get back to green flag racing, and Vicente Guerrero again with another great jump. He's going to have that opportunity to jump down to the inside lane as he does there, and he's going to get in front of the 24 of Everett Lane. As you can see the fire coming out the side of him as these guys get up to speed, as we got a big move already from the 85 and the 24.
Yeah, push from the 24 gets the 14 upset a little bit, and he is going to move to the outside lane after clearing the 24 after a really great restart on the high side. Thankfully for Everett, able to get back to the lead of that inside lane. We will see how the outside lane, well, the middle and then the outside lane, continue to form here, as it's been pretty strong here tonight. The 429 of Paul Witt pushing the 14 at the moment. 85 of Adam Kilday is pushing the 24 on the bottom, and it looks like we've got Anthony Lane coming down pit road to serve a penalty here, unfortunately, so that is going to put him at the tail end of the lead lap. And the only thing, the only retirement that we have to report so far, it looks like Keedy Engstrom has left the chat and unfortunately will be retiring for the evening. So that is it for the 64. He's going to come home in the 27th position tonight. Definitely had some really strong runs, especially in that third lane, moving towards the front, and really heads-up move for that first yellow to not make it any bigger than it was, with just a single car, two-car kind of accident. So unfortunate for Keedy Engstrom, after what was a really great start to this race, is going to have to finish there at the tail end. But Everett Lane now working in the high side with the 14. He is ahead of the inside lane, which has the 85, and the 13 of Mike Allen, and then Dale Rapp behind him. So the 13 and the 52 should be some teammates there, working in that inside lane and getting some seat time up here at the front of this pack as the 24 jumps down to the bottom and regains position and lead over that line.
Yeah, one heck of a run here tonight by the 13 of Mike Allen, running in fourth spot. Came in 21st in points tonight, and so not having the start to the season that he wanted, but some guys around him not having the ninth that they wanted. So part of how we talked about earlier is, capitalizing on the moment and getting the spots when you can. And now the 13 finds himself running up front, and a lot of times, like you said earlier, keeps you away from the damages. We've seen it tonight. From guys just sliding across the nose, or the big one happening there towards the back. So that's how you really start to make those little chunk gains to get yourself back in position or contention to make the playoffs. So good run there tonight.
Yeah, definitely a good run for the 13 and the 52 that's building so far. Dale is, if we're taking 12, he is the first car out. But he is tied for David Overstreet, who looks like he has a tiebreaker for getting into those playoffs. So that's the cutoff. It's a tie straddled across that line if we're taking 12. So definitely, and Michael Allen's a little further on back. He is in the 21st position in points, so he has a little bit of a hole to climb out of, but who knows, that could turn his season around all here tonight with a good run as he's having here, well over the halfway mark of this race.
Yeah, and speaking of that bubble, Dale Rapp and Overstreet, look where they're at, right nose to tail with each other, battling back on the inside lane. So just thinking in that moment, capitalize on the upsets of these other guys, and let's get these points, and let's not even maybe worrying about being on the bubble. So some racing at all points and times of these super speedway races, and how quickly things can change.
Yeah, and I mean, two that have also really been, well, three. Les Levy, Adam Kildare, and Everett Lane are third, fourth, and fifth in the points right now. And I don't think we've seen those guys really outside of the top five, top 10 really much. Tonight, obviously, the 62 is a little bit further on back after the incident there, but especially Adam and Everett there having a really, really strong run. Almost nobody has had more top fives than Adam or Everett. The only one that has more top fives than Adam Kildare is your points leader. 5 races, 5 top tens for Gabe Butler, but 4 out of 5 top tens for Adam Kildare and 3 out of 5 for Everett Lane. That's been a really good percentage for those guys as they've had really, really strong runs here tonight. That 24 just seems to be able to control whatever lane he's running in and get back to the front pretty quickly there. The high side's working now, though. The 126 and the 9 are going to try their hand at that as the 85 is going to get ahead of the 24 down at the bottom. There's one more car in that outside lane. Looks like it might be Joshua Highball. Yes, it is. And good recovery for him after that spin. Thankfully, the caution comes out and he's able to catch back up, and he is well inside the top 15 at the moment and looking for more as that outside lane moves forward. In the 19, the 19 of Hayden Davis is going to go around. That's the third time we've seen that tonight.
Yeah, right there at that spot again, boom. The same exact spot. I don't know if there's water on the track right there or what's going on, but that corner and coming off of turn 4 has really messed up a lot of guys' nights. And speaking of them top fives of Gabe Butler, those could be intact or in case or might end up losing that streak right now. He finds himself 36 seconds off the leader and away from this pack, so trouble here for the 88.
Yeah, not exactly sure what happened there. That he lost the draft. Could have been from that incident, but we don't really know. There's going to be another one, and this is going to bring out a yellow for sure. 24 is involved. The 6 is involved. Almost the whole front of this pack is involved here. Ooh, big shot late.
Oh, this was Gabe's plan. He knew this was coming.
Apparently.
He knew it was coming. The big one, I don't think there was anybody that was not collected except for maybe the 429 of Witt.
Yeah, we'll look back at this one, and man, that just coming off a 4 is just such a trouble spot for these guys. The 85 gets hooked, the 24 gets hooked. Truck tries to flip on him. The 85, I think, successfully flips. No, just about though. 14 goes around, the 52, 13, the 6. Everybody has extensive damage after that incident there. And yeah, I think as you mentioned there, really Paul Witt was probably the only one that I think made it through unscathed. A couple guys coming through the grass here don't look too bad. Gary Huffines gets through actually pretty well, but a lot of other guys coming through the grass. And checking up at the end there, a little contact between the 9 and the 46 there after the fact. And obviously we saw that big hit between the 6 and the 24 there as they were already sliding. So yeah, definitely a lot more cars that are going to probably need to take a fast repair here and get some damage repaired for tonight. The good news is we do have 2 fast repairs, so you have opportunities to continue your race if something's beyond your control. Try to take you out of it. So we'll see who's going to take those fast repairs and what service these trucks are going to get down pit road here.
Yeah, it was a couple things I would like to really ask these drivers, and I wish we could just hop in there and ask them. But it was an early morning race, so it was a cool temperature. So I wonder if the track is slick, and then I wonder how many of these guys that are spinning or getting as loose as they are haven't taken tires. So some questions that would be awesome to be answered, but we'll head to a commercial break and see if we can figure some things out.
Yeah, we're going to hear from, I believe it's 40 Racewear once again.
40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
Forgot to mention in the first go around, but obviously our friends at 4dracewear.com have that discount code for you, Area 5115. That's Area 5115. That gets you 15% off any sim racing apparel order. Again, for 4dracewear.com. Jim Herrick and the boys who race in the IndyCar Series here at Area 51 on Tuesday nights. Obviously, Jim's the owner of 4dracewear.com and has a whole crew and team of guys that race there and have lots of fun there. Again, those guys typically stick to just the IndyCar Series, but they support the entirety of Area 51, and we're very appreciative for them and the discount code that they share with everybody there in the league and all the friends of the league watching and hanging out with us here tonight. So lights are off on the pace car. We are going to go green next time by. Vicente Guerrero stays out. So he's got about 10 laps less fuel than anybody else in the field does, as everybody else comes down pit road to grab fuel and some tires. Looking back, Mike Allen, Gary Huffines, and most of the cars behind them taking 4 tires or spending some extensive time on pit road for damage repair, though. Obviously, you mentioned, Brandon, really one of the biggest benefits to this caution was the 88 of Gabe Butler able to stay on the lead lap here, and we'll see if Vicente's gamble here that more cautions might come out soon pays off.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot of factors that play into here, and how many drivers maybe came over the radio and said, "Hey, fellas, I don't know how many fast repairs we got left. If you're gonna put it somewhere, hold it there." So, um, I think we're gonna maybe see a different type of 25 final laps. But then again, hey, if that third lane we've seen it, it's working tonight. If you want to get to the front, that's how you get there. So. Some drivers going to have to make a decision and bounce back to that 14. It's really going to be crucial. He's 10 laps short. That means a longer pit stop. A lot of these guys can maybe go to lap 70, 69, somewhere in there. Very short pit stop for these guys. As we see a big checkup in the back. Somebody didn't go.
Ooh.
We're going to have maybe a caution right here off this restart.
Well, it stays green, but there's a lot of cars checked up there on the restart. And we are going to stay green. We'll try to take it back to... Oh, there is the yellow. Okay, admin thrown yellow flag, believe there. We'll try and take it back to exactly what happened here on the restart. It looks like it happened further on back. And we'll see if we can understand where the checkup came from. You see a little bit of separation towards the middle there in the inside and the outside lanes. And then I'm assuming it's just kind of an accordion effect, and you can kind of see it already starting there, the 85, almost getting into the back of the 071, and then, yeah, you see just in the back there, and the outside lane, honestly, almost got it worse. The 51 checks up, and the 19 gets hit from behind there, and that is going to spin the 11 around, and the 9 of Charles Johnson, and I think the 126 checks up there on the inside lane enough to not get any damage, but I guess the good news is doesn't look like there's a lot to repair from that, but that will be another yellow out on for the race tonight.
Yeah, I wonder if this now, if that brings Vicente down to pit road, because We get about 20 laps, and he's got about 10. Maybe now we're gonna go a caution, maybe a couple more laps. He's just gonna have to, I feel like, put so much more in the tank compared to these other guys. But do you risk it and try to get back up through this field? It's been hectic.
Yeah, I mean, right now with all the cautions that we've had, it wouldn't probably be crazy to think that with him pitting on lap 36, he could probably go to about lap 65 or more. I don't think, obviously, he's going to have to come down, pit road and get one more pit stop. I am curious. I'm curious if the play here is to have people pit and try to pit for the last time. Because if you can pit here and another caution were to come out, I think you could stretch it to the end. So Vicente is going to come down. The 6 of Bud Steele is going to stay out. Robert Hooligan in the 126 is going to stay out as well. And then Justin Davis, Everett Lane, and Jack Walls should be your top 5 as they cycle up through. And Vicente Guerrero will be the first car to come down pit road, relinquishes that lead to Bud Steele. And we'll see, looks like actually 4 tires for the 14. And he will be out and away. I think we see David Overstreet there. Yeah, David Overstreet was the first one to come out of pit lane there. So he's going to be in the 11th position. So about 10 cars staying out on the racing surface here. Everybody there pitting at lap 47. So even lap 47, which is obviously our last caution, and we've only really had caution laps since then, that might be enough to stretch it to the end. Obviously, that'd be like 28 laps, but who knows? I mean, especially if there's another yellow, man, they might be able to stretch that far. Do you think, Brandon?
Uh, Man, that's a long ways. But if anybody knows how to do it, it's definitely the 6 and those guys. They really execute when it comes to that fuel saving mode. You see it all the time with the 83 and Bud. They're just able to save so much fuel. So if it's definitely going to keep up like this, they'll have a really good shot at it. But what we just seen, I don't think that's going to happen again. So these guys have got to get there. And we're going to come back with maybe 23, 22 laps to go?
Yeah. Obviously, well, we just took a quick commercial break, but maybe we can do the same thing again and take a quick step away. This time we'll hear from Whiplash Simcams. Alrighty, and big appreciation and thanks to Whiplash Simcams. They are responsible for all of the footage that you see here tonight. These are their camera packages for all the tracks and all the series that we run here at Area 51. So big appreciation to Andrew over at Whiplash Simcams for all the work that he does to get us these wonderful views and all the cool camera angles that you get to see, as Bud Steele is going to be the control car for, I believe, it should be the first time for him tonight. Started in the 3rd position at the front, has definitely led some laps and spent a lot of time up here. The 126 of Robert Hooligan, also good recovery there, up in the 2nd position. Justin Davis, Everett Lane, who we've seen in the top 5 pretty much all night long, and then Jack Walls up there as well. As we get ready to go, it'll be 22 at the stripe when the green flag flies.
Nice type 2x2 racing here. A lot better restart this time. We see a lot of single file in that inside lane all the way back there. Guys coming down and topping off with fuel, but nice, good restart here. Everybody going to get up to speed as we see what was the 126, I believe, jump down in front of Bud. And I think Bud's completely okay with that. We seen him riding the apron under caution, saving as much fuel as they can. I think he's perfectly fine with the 126 getting out and being full throttle and just sitting there and riding behind him and just staying up front and making it to lap 75.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's going to be a lot of guys that are in a position that are going to want to save as much as they can. It won't be impossible, but definitely improbable to see this top, well, what is it, 9 that have not pit since lap 47. It's going to be interesting to see if they can make it the rest of the distance, because as we said, it's going to be about 28 laps. Now, 5 of those have probably already been under caution, so it's possible for sure, but definitely going to be tight, and they're going to be trying to save as much fuel as they can. So I'm really curious to see. Les Levy is the first driver in the field, actually Adam Kilday now, as to pit under that last caution. So I'm really curious to see if they are going to be any better position, because obviously they have about 24 laps to go to the end on their fuel, and should be a little bit easier for those guys, but curious if they're going to start charging to the front and trying to take over as the guys in front start saving more, probably.
Yeah, and I think the answer for these guys in the back, the 88, got a blessing there with that caution, hops to that third lane immediately, and that's get back up front. And so I think this is maybe where the chaos could come later in the race. Boom, is some of these guys not pushing it as hard, trying to save a lot of fuel when the guys behind them are like, all right, it's go time. And unfortunately, sometimes that's when somebody gets ran over. So maybe two different strategies here for some guys. So you definitely want to be around your teammates.
Yeah, teammates always help here and make a big difference. There's a couple of them at the front with the 24 and the 071, actually the 714 there, leading that middle lane. A couple of boot knocker guys at the front here. A couple of Roswell guys too there, the 83 and the 6, as the 83 is coming down pit road. So is the 6 of Bud Steele. So these guys are going to make their final pit stop here with 19 laps to go and leave the rest of the field out. That's going to put 3 boot knockers to the lead in the bottom lane. The 77 of Robert Amaral moving towards the front, as not a lot of drafting help right now in that outside lane, as most of these trucks are all single file on the bottom, which I'm curious to know if that means everybody's got to come down pit road and make one more final pit stop.
Yeah, I really like that move by them guys. Teammates coming in. They work really good together. 3 trucks is enough to have enough speed where you're not going to lose a lot of time. And not only that, you get out of the chaos. So if any of the chaos happens, you're out of it. You don't have to be worried about using another fast repair, or maybe you don't have another fast repair. This keeps you in the clear. And these guys right here, they're gonna have to pit again.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like everybody's going to have to with the way this is stringing out single file. So we definitely thought that there would be some opportunities to maybe save a little bit of extra fuel. But, I mean, the fact that nobody's racing in the outside lane, I think, tells a different story there. And everyone looking probably, ooh, the 62, a little bit of a checkup there, and going to be okay. I think the 101 gets slowed up just a little bit there, loses a couple spots from that, but other than that, no harm, no foul, and everyone's pretty much able to get back into that inside lane there.
Yeah, and if I'm back in points, this is where I'm like, yo, let's race. Let's go up here. Let's push the issue. Let's not let the race go the way these guys plan. Let's make them make that final pit stop. Let's hope they make a mistake. Make them race the whole 75 laps. Just don't let them go around here and save the fuel and try to stretch it or try to make it that way. Get up there, push these guys, and maybe this is how you can move up in points or even sneak away with a win.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, just from the fact that the outside lane really has not gotten going here, either everyone's comfortable with that, or like I said, everyone potentially planning to come down pit road at some point. But the 11's going to jump to the high side, and yeah, here we go. There's most of the field coming down now, so that answers the question of pretty much nobody was going to be able to make it. Ooh, a little bit of a lock up there. The set 10 around, and a couple others having some issues. as Everett Lane leads this group down pit road. So that's going to leave Paul Witt out to the lead. David Overstreet, Charles Johnson, Joshua Highball, Robert Amaral, Bob Fitzgerald, Jim Brooks, Dale Rapp, and Hayden Davis, the top 9 at the moment. I think there's an extra lap car in that group as well, potentially, as we come around 16 laps to go. We'll see if these guys answer the call this time by or if they're going to stay out longer.
Yeah, and shout out to this group right here. A couple guys made a late decision there to come down pit road. They checked up and moved up, so they didn't run those trucks over and kept everybody's nose clean. But here we go again, and it looks like the 9 of Charles Johnson is going to get really wide there as they come down pit road. You don't want to lock them up, as maybe they're doing right there, as the 9's going to go around again, and unfortunately, I think is going to get a penalty for that move right there. Boom.
Yeah, if not, definitely probably for too fast entering pit road, unfortunately for the 9 of Charles Johnson. Everybody else looks like they got down okay. This leaves Joshua Highball, Robert Amaral, and Dale Rapp out together. And as you mentioned earlier, 3 trucks, not really too much of a concern there, as they're going to come together and work together, coming probably down. I'm assuming they're going to be coming down this time by, and we'll see if they can make that green flag pit cycle work and complete that for the rest of the field, and there they come this time by.
Yeah, and unfortunately I'm watching timing and scoring here, and for the 83 and those guys, they did not get in front of the 88 or the 85, those guys that pitted a little bit later. So I think they're still going to be with the pack, just unfortunately not in front of those guys the way they wanted it. But they did miss some of the chaos that happened at the entrance of pit road, so that's a good sign, and still have their nose clean.
You know, they may not be in too bad of a position because you can see they've actually got a pretty good head of steam right now as they work in that middle lane, catching some of the guys that pit 2 laps ago still as they get organized. So I think for the most part, I mean, it's going to put them right there towards the back part of the top 10. And once this all settles out, so not too bad for them there. We're going to see, oh, we got a wreck coming off of 2. The 6 is around. And that is going to be another caution on the night, as potentially some issues with rejoining the speedway there after pit stops. And we'll try to figure out exactly what happened here. Coming off of 2. Nope, it is the 6 of Bud Steele getting spun around there and going for a bit of a ride there with contact made with the 429 of Paul Witt down the back straightaway. And then you see a big hit for what I believe that's David Overstreet there. And the Netflix car is going to take a big hit here. And then obviously the 429 going for a bit of a ride. And who else was involved there? I'm trying to figure out who's behind the 46 at the moment. That's the 11. Okay, so the 11 of Thomas Holder there gets into it as well. So definitely some damage for those guys. The 08 spins around, the 00 spins around. Looks like the 25 51 and the 101 get down okay through the grass and avoid any issues there. But yeah, definitely 6 caution in the night. It's definitely been we saw some really great racing towards the beginning, but there's definitely been some chaos here in the later stages, midway into the later stages of this race.
Yeah, it's definitely brought some excitement, and the 14 Vicente Guerrero, Justin Davis, they were losing that pack over 15 seconds. Both of those trucks going to catch back up here with this caution, and we'll head to a commercial break.
40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
All right, took an extra pace lap there, but the lights are finally off, and we are ready to go. And the cream continues to rise to the top. Everett Lane finding himself back in the control position for tonight's race. He is going to be definitely starting the most up on the front row for all these starts and restarts for tonight, and try to do what he can to control the rest of this one. He's got two teammates lined up directly behind him now. Robert Hooligan having a good showing after taking some time off and coming back to the series, as we mentioned. His should be his first start of the season here. The 85 of Adam Kilday up in the points mix is up there as well, and we're looking forward to getting back going. We'll have 10 to go as we cross the start-finish line for this restart.
Yeah, 10 to go, and that outside lane's been pretty good tonight. They're definitely going to be on it tonight, or on at this restart with the teammates of 24 and 88. But the inside lane gets a better start this time. They're going to have to battle back here as we go through turn one.
Yeah, good pushes pretty much for everybody. Everyone's pretty well connected in the bottom and the top lanes at the moment here as we come down the back straightaway, and we'll see how these guys can handle the two wide action, or if anybody's going to jump out to that third lane here. As will be 9 to go at the stripe, the 24, the 88, the 071 strong surge into turn 3 and 4. Two cars clear on the bottom, and they're going to try and control every aspect of the finish of this race here.
Yeah, nothing to worry about now. You know you're good to go on fuel. You got some fresh tires on your truck, and I think that's the best move Team Bootnecker could have been made right there. That right there is a team move, right, and control both lanes and have a teammate up front. As both of those two drivers have already conquered a win this year, and looking to add another, and along with the teammate right there behind him is the 071 as the 24 gets a little loose coming down the backstretch.
Yeah, big push there. 24 gets a little bit of loose off the nose of Robert Hooligan, but we stay green, and no harm, no foul. The 88's going to jump up into that middle lane now, and the 071 is going to promote himself to the lead of the inside. Now he's got Dean Wilkinson and the 52 of Dale Rapp behind him. Good recovery for that 52 truck, getting back up into, or at least towards the top 5 in the 6th position at the moment here. The 88, the 24, the 126 in the high lane, the 071, 55, 52 in the bottom lane, and don't look now, two trucks trying to make their way back up to the front. It's going to be the 9 now jumping up as well, but the 14 of Vicente Guerrero is up there, as well as the 429 and more. 714 is going to jump up to the high side, and so is the 85 of Adam Kilday. Maybe not, comes back to the middle, thinks better of it. But a couple cars trying to start that third lane here in the late stages of this race.
Yeah, and if you don't think you need 4D racewear gloves, be in this moment of this race in the middle of one of these trucks right here. Your hands start sweating. You got to grip the wheel as tight as you can, and nothing better is having some comfortable gloves. As the 77 right there eases back on, everybody's going to stay clear. But this is when it starts to really pick up. The little things that you haven't noticed all race is going to come into effect right here. You got to hold the line as straight as possible as you work that third or second lane to get by these guys.
So the 85 and the 62 now creeping in the picture for the leaders here as that third lane continues to move forward. The 88 and the 24 there, and as the 24 jumps up, and now we've got Bootnecker controlling all three lines at the front of this pack. 85 of Adam Kilday is going to try and push that 24 clear, though, and get himself up back into the lead. 6 laps to go.
Yeah, what a move there by Everett Lane, and good driving there by the 88. He knew when the 24 went up there to that third lane that the run coming from behind from the 126 was going to be huge, and we seen it. The 126 gave him a pretty good shot. They both were able to hang on. The inside lane starting to fade now. The 55 is really going to have to push that 071.
Yeah, they're able to make a little ground up in the corners as usual, but obviously the high side and the middle having the best momentum as they can keep it wound up, more RPMs. A little bit of a contact there between the what is it? The 126 and the 24 there, but 5 laps to go, still 3 wide, about 8 rows deep at the moment, and the 24 now pulling even with his teammates. So again, that's still 3 Team Bootnaka drivers trying to get a 1-2-3 finish, controlling each of the 3 lanes in the race at the moment, not letting anybody else get clear to the lead.
Yeah, and this is where we brought up earlier the 071. He's about 8 points right now off the bubble. If he can pull this race off and get a win and get those bonus points, that really helps his chances of making the playoffs. So you can really see how it is to be in a team like, especially Team Bootnaka. We've seen how they helped Justin Davis and how far he was to come along, and how unselfish they are as a team to be up there helping the 071 can try to control those lanes to make sure that these guys don't get a real good run, as they're 3 wide and bouncing all over the place.
Yeah, they're making it look easy, and obviously nobody else is really able. Someone's going to have to push one of those 3 clear ahead of another one in order to get the opportunity. But I think they're going to try and control all of those lanes as much as possible to give themselves the 1-2-3 finish. The strategy is working so far. The inside lane gets a good surge ahead, though, and the outside lane stalls out just a little bit. Does that give enough room for the 126 to jump to the high side, or is he going to stay tucked in behind the 88? The 83 doesn't have enough room to get there as the outside lane tries to regroup and move forward once again.
Yeah, and one of the toughest things about being this is we see the 24 is going to get in the wall. He's going to touch. Is he going to save it? He's going to move around. So far, I don't know, Boom. I think they're going to save it. 24 is still going to go around. That's going to bring out the caution there. Bootnaka luck ran out, unfortunately. That is a very tough thing to do with what they were doing there. And as the laps get down closer to 75, the pushes just get a little bit tougher.
Yeah, that's a heartbreak for the 24, who really has been the class of the field all night long, doing a really good job controlling the front of this race. I mean, from start to finish, he's had a really good night, and then obviously a bit of a slow struggle through turns 1 and 2, gets the shove going into the corner there, that gets the truck loose, and it just really at that point continues to unfold, and unfortunately was just kind of going to be coming there no matter what. And you see there, obviously, gets a little bit of a shove from the 85, and that puts him into the outside wall there. And then we'll watch how the rest of it unfolded. Obviously, tries to get kind of back down and just gets tagged off the nose of the 85. And then at that point, does Vicente get touched? No, I don't think he does. But the 429 is going to get contact. Obviously, the 19 is going to get big contact. The 24, and then further on back, looks like Mike Allen on the 13 is already sliding around, but that might actually help him avoid what the chaos is to come here. And then a big checkup for a couple drivers, including the 85 of Adam Kilday, the 62 getting some contact there. 24, and then obviously we saw this another big impact with the outside wall. So, I mean, really not too bad as far as cars involved, but unfortunately the worst of it definitely going to that 24, who again has been the class of the field pretty much all night long.
Yeah, and that definitely, as it was really great that we could slow it down and look at it. You could really see that's not what the 85 wanted. Yeah, your patience starts to run thin as you've seen those guys run 3 wide, but you could clearly see that he did not try to advance. He tried to let the 24 correct it and even come back down, but the 85 can just let off the throttle so much before he gets ran over and causes chaos. So hats off to the 85. You could really see that he tried to let the 24 catch the truck and get back in line.
Yeah, and that's a tough thing to do if you're in that situation, because obviously, like you said, you don't want to get run over from behind either, and you have to check up a lot more than you really think you do in order to give that driver in front of you a chance to save it, especially at these high speeds. So definitely not the easiest challenge for that 85 or for the 24, as they're going to roll off 21st and 22nd off of pit road. Les Levy also coming down pit road for either a fast repair or a little bit of damage repair as well. So that puts 23 trucks on the lead lap. Robert Amaral looks like he is I think 2 laps down at the moment, and then Bud Steele is quite a bit more, and yeah, 11 laps is what it's scored as right now. So the 88 of Gabe Butler will be the control car for the restart here, and we'll get one more opportunity to hear from Whiplash Simcams. Alrighty, we're going to try the first attempt at a green-white checkered here tonight for the Friday Night Super Speedway Series. All bets are off. Everybody has enough fuel, can go the distance, obviously. And we're going to have 2 laps of really hard racing here. Gabe Butler will be the control car for the first time tonight. He'll be side by side with teammate Eric Laurie as they try to continue to control those lanes and try to bring home a win for Team Bootnaka Esports. Green flag back out on the speedway.
Yeah, we're back green, and Bootnaka does lead that front row, but it's a while before they see another teammate. So definitely have the target on their back as these guys get back to green, and Eric's going to stay up there on that outside line as we see some guys already jumping and moving. We got 2 laps to go, and just like you said, all gloves off, and I don't think there's any lifting at this point, Boom.
All gloves are off, but hopefully you have your 40 racewear gloves on and can grip that steering wheel tight with 2 laps to go here. Team Bootnaka still controls the inside and the outside. Does anybody start to make the move towards that third lane? The 55 and the 52 behind Eric Laurie in the outside. The 126 and the 83 pushing the 88 on the inside as they get a little squirrely off of 2 little snaking, but nothing worse than that. We will get the white flag and we'll race back to the line.
Yeah, and something to watch is hopefully the guy around you's got enough fuel to make it. A lot of these guys probably only took enough to get to the finish. A lot of them was riding the apron as we're going to see these pushes start to get moving as Dean Wilkinson trying to push the 071 forward.
Outside lane coming with a little bit of a run here. The 071 with the push from the 55. Just about even with Gabe Butler there. He takes the lead for a moment going into 3. Momentum's going to shift to the bottom through 3 and 4 off the short chute. Does the 071 have enough momentum on the high side as the outside or the middle lane separates? It's going to be Gabe Butler coming through the tri-oval to get another victory on the season. Eric Laurie looks like he just barely holds on to 3rd place there.
Yeah, and I think the 071 is going to be happy with that. Didn't get the win that he wanted, but a nice top three. Like we stated earlier, rough start to his season. I think he's just going to be excited he was able to put it up there in the podium and finish the races. Gabe Butler comes from the back to the front and takes another win here at Daytona.
Yeah, definitely a hard-earned win for Gabe Butler. It'll be his second on the season for Friday nights, and we'll pull him up to talk to him in just a bit. Quite a few wins for that number 88 truck in the history here at Area 51. But we're going to pull up those race results for you now and go through the rest of them with you. Obviously, Gabe Butler the win. Robert Hooligan, a really strong showing after a little bit of a hiatus, is back racing once again. And he comes home just 56 thousandths off of the lead. Eric Laurie there had a really good run in that high lane. Obviously, the push from the 55 helps. And then obviously, as you saw off of 4, that middle lane kind of split to the outside lane as well. And I think that broke up all the momentum to give anybody in either of those lanes the opportunity to try and win the race. But Eric Laurie still gets that third position. Jack Walls was coming at the line very quickly to try and take that over. But he's going to get a solid top 5 for himself. And for Dean Wilkinson, a good push and a good helper to the 071 comes home, is rewarded with a top 5 finish. Paul Witt there in the 429 is going to come home in the 6th position, well inside the top 10, as well as Vicente Guerrero. Dale Rapp had some laps up there in the top 5 tonight. Good showing for him. Is going to come home with another solid top 10 for him. David Overstreet there in the 46 is going to come home in the 9th position, and then Hayden Davis in the 10th position. Bob Fitzgerald 11th in that 08. Justin Davis there, his cousins Hayden and Justin finishing 10th and 12th together. Doug Webb for Bootnaka Esports is in the 13th position. Joshua Heibaugh in the 101 back there in 14th, caught up in one of the issues off of turn 4 that didn't cause a caution. So great recovery for him to be able to get back onto the lead lap and come home within the top 15. Teammate Mike Allen just behind him there as well. Anthony Lane, another Silver Fox Racing driver there in 16th place. And Charles Johnson comes home in 17th. Jim Brooks spent some time up towards the top, but is going to have to settle for an 18th place finish for tonight. And we'll bring up the rest of that grid for you. Gary Huffines, another one of those that I believe was caught in an issue off of turn 4, comes home in the 19th position. David Fashholtz in the top 20. And there's Everett Lane there. Unfortunate end to his night, as well as Adam Kilday and Les Levy, all involved in that final incident there. And unfortunately, not enough to get them back up to the front after, obviously Everett Lane, we said it already, but the class of the field for tonight, Adam Kilday and Les Levy absolutely in that conversation as well. So unfortunate for them to have to finish where they did. You see Robert Amaral there will be the first car 2 laps down in that number 77. And then we saw Bud Steele go a few laps down there towards the later stages of the race. And then Thomas Holder there involved in one of the later cautions there. He's going to come home 16 laps down. And then we noted the retire for Keedy Engstrom after a strong showing to the beginning of the race. And that'll go through the running order here, and we're going to rewind it back here, slow it down, and show you some of our drivers here in their paint scheme, show them off, and get a chance to bring the 071 up here in the booth and see how that went for him tonight. Eric, take us through what it took to get to that third place finish there.
Try to stay clean the first half, and the last quarter, try to get to the front and stay there.
Yeah, one heck of a run and definitely a heck of a finish. And as a broadcaster, you don't want to, pull for a drive or anything like that. But watching you, man, just have a tough start to the season and just nothing you can really control. And man, it was awesome to see you finish strong up there. And how wild was it tonight in that pack?
Oh, it was fun. It got tight a couple of times, but a lot of good racing there, bumping and banging there. I was having a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah,
Not bumping and banging into everybody.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. Yeah, no, I think we knew. Well, I think we knew what you meant there, but yeah, obviously at one point there, it looked like you, Gabe, and Everett had a chance to really control all three lanes as we got towards the later stages in the laps there. It seemed like you guys were kind of doing that intentionally to try and control and not let anybody to get it past you guys. But I want to hear more from your side on some of that strategy there.
Well, it was trying to, keep control of it. I could say that, it's really not right doing all that at times, but you got to do it, to stay up front, collect them points.
Yeah, and we were mentioning it obviously kind of closer to the cut line, hoping to come in and have a good night and obviously turn a little bit of the season around for you there tonight. So that's got to be a good feeling to come home with a good points run and obviously a solid top 3 finish.
Yeah, I'm just glad to do it, and good finish, and thanks, Dean, for the pushing there. Couldn't have done it without him.
Yeah, definitely a good shove from Dean Wilkinson there behind you, and we'll roll out that red carpet now for any other thanks or shout outs you'd like to give for that 3rd place finish there, Eric.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys, what you guys do. You guys make it fun to go back and watch the races. Uh, want to thank all the sponsors. If I forget them, I can't remember the names now, but thinking about all them. And to my crew that was with me, we had Doug, David, Gabe, let's see, Thomas, and Everett.
Good crew for you guys tonight and a good showing and a good point night for you as well. So congratulations, Eric, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to you again very soon.
All right. Appreciate it. Have a good night, too.
You too. Thanks. Some kind words for the broadcast, as always. Appreciate that, and appreciate all the drivers that get a chance to stop on by and hang out with us here tonight. And well, we've got another driver up here hanging out with us tonight. Bit of a return to the series. It's been a minute since I think we've seen you here on either obviously now Friday nights, but Fridays or Sundays now, Robert. Good to see you back, and it's got to feel good to get a solid 2nd place finish in your return.
Yeah. Great race. Yep, actually I took a positive test with the COVID, man, and I think I burnt the whole COVID out of me. I bet you I take the test again and I'll be clean. But anyways, yeah, it was a great race. Want to thank Area 51, and yeah, I felt like I had a pretty solid run.
Yeah, you definitely your truck was up there all night, pushing really really well, and as Boom mentioned, it had been a while since you raced with us, and how was it just being back, and how exciting was the racing?
The race was very exciting, good race, and yeah, glad to be back. And yeah, I don't expect to go anywhere this time, so I plan
Definitely.
to stick around.
Yeah, good to hear that. I know, obviously, like I said, a little bit of hiatus, but back now, and I'm kind of curious to ask. I know, obviously, it's been a minute outside of the trucks, but it seems like this season we've seen a lot of really control and grip from the trucks. Now, obviously, we had some incidents off of turn 4, and quite a few cautions, honestly, tonight. But it seemed like for the most part, the trucks are fairly stable. And I know that we've kind of witnessed that all season long. Obviously, that was maybe a little bit new for you tonight, but maybe take us through some of that experience as these trucks have transitioned a little bit since you've been here.
Well, yes, they have transitioned a lot, and who I was going to mention tonight, whoever made the setup did a real good job, because it's not really, I had a lot of control coming off of 4, and my car was able to stay down, and I've done a lot of fixed setups in the trucks, so here and there, and they are a whole lot looser. So great job on the setup. Whoever does the setups, I don't know, but I was going to mention that tonight, and I just failed to.
Yeah, no worries.
Truck
Well,
felt really good, though. Yeah, I don't know if you guys on the video. I'm gonna go back and see it, but I was able to keep my truck right where I wanted it. You know what I mean? So that was really nice.
yeah, I mean, we saw some really great 3-wide action for a lot of the night. Obviously, a few
Oh yeah,
incidents, but
that was awesome, man. The three wide at Daytona is the most fun ever. You know what I mean? And when I get 3 wide, I don't know, my whole, I actually calm down. My grip calms down, and I just get right into it because there ain't nothing like 3 wide at Daytona. It's so much fun. But
Yeah,
you gotta like it. You gotta wanna be up there, and you gotta feel comfortable about having the cars around you, and I felt so comfortable around the cars that were around me, that was unreal. But, I race here and there with these guys here and there, so, yeah, they did all a great job, great job.
yeah, no, that was fun. I think it might have been you and
Mm.
Keity Engstrom. I think that were actually the first two to jump to the high side and make that third lane work. But definitely looked like a lot of fun for you guys tonight. But
Right, and I was running them pretty tight, but, yeah, it was a great time. Mm,
yeah. Well, we'll roll out that red
yeah,
carpet
yeah.
for you, Robert, and give you opportunities for any thanks or shout outs you'd like to give for that second place finish in your return tonight.
Yes, yes, I'm so happy to come back, man. I came back and made a statement, so maybe one of these guys will push me for the win, so, yep, great fun. Uh,
Good deal, man. Well, glad to have you back and appreciate knowing that you're
mm.
sticking around a little bit longer and hope we get a chance to talk to you
Oh,
again
yeah,
real
yeah, yeah,
soon.
yeah, I donated $100 to Charles for you guys, so I'm sticking around this time, buddy. I ain't going nowhere.
Hey, heck yeah. Broadcast
Yeah, I'm
money.
here to stay. Yeah, 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 yeah. So that's all to help you out. And I like to make donations, so I don't mind doing all that. So, man, yeah, it was great. And you guys do a great job too announcing, and you guys do a wonderful job. So, yeah, I love looking at the races afterwards, and yeah, it's a great time.
Yeah, well,
Mm,
we appreciate the kind words from you, Robert, and
mm,
again,
mm,
congratulations, and talk to you again soon, buddy.
mm. All right, you have a blessed one, brother.
You too, man.
Bye-bye.
Alrighty, we've got one more driver to talk to here, and no stranger to the broadcast booth and the interview process here. Gabe Butler coming home with the second win of the season. We talked obviously to Eric there, good points night for him, and seemed like towards the later stages, you, him, and Everett really had an opportunity to kind of control every lane of the track and really keep anybody from trying to get ahead of you guys. So curious to hear your thoughts on how that strategy unfolded and how it felt from the driver's seat.
Yeah, yeah, me and Eric had control of the restart there, but Everett really got burned. I mean, he was having a really good night, led probably the most laps, and ended up getting turned there on lap 73 and put him back in the field. So there was nothing he could do, just some really bad luck there. And then the rest of the fellows hung in there as best they could. Thomas had some bad luck tonight too. He had to use 2 fast repairs, and David and Doug to hang in there as best they could. And I think Doug ended up P13 and David ended up P20. I wish we could have had better results, but hell of a job from Eric there, getting a nice P3 and got a great push there from Robert Hooligan there on that green white checkered. So big shout out to him.
Yeah, good to see him back in the series with us once again, and obviously a little bit of a mixed bag. But I mean, you mentioned it. I mean, Everett probably. I mean, you'll hear us if you go back and watch the race. You'll hear us say at least 3 or 4 times that definitely the class of the field, pretty much all night. And unfortunate end for his day, but obviously still a really good points night for some of you guys and able to battle back. Seemed like obviously we've talked about this a lot this season with some of the changes in not just the setups, but the iRacing model for these trucks. It seems like for the most part it was pretty stable to be able to, move around and kind of put the truck wherever you wanted to.
Yeah, this iRacing has really improved their setups for Dega and Daytona. And the truck, generally speaking, is quite stable, even on a hot track. So yeah, you're right. You could pretty much put it where you want to. I mean, within reason. You got to be clear, and you don't want to overcook it down there on a hot track. But I felt the track real stable tonight, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I definitely think you thought the truck, I mean, from the back to the front. But was there ever a point, especially when you got in that first contact and the way the racing was going tonight, was there ever a point where you were like, maybe I should just hang out for a little bit, or was it, I'm gonna get up here and go 100% the whole race?
Initially, I was like, kind of, yeah, I'll just hang out. And then I thought, well, yeah, let's go for it and make it a little bit exciting. And we were able to get to the front. And then I kind of screwed up there. One of the restarts, I lost the pack, and caution came out, and I was able to get back in. So I figured I'd hang a little bit and see where the fellas were with the rest of the team. And then we got down to the last pit stop, and we were discussing fuel, what we wanted to do, tires, no tires, minimum fuel, or kind of save one for a green white checker. Everett had stayed out. So prior to the last green flag pit stop, and he needed kind of an extra lap just to be on the safe side. So we all decided to stay out with him and make sure he had enough fuel for a green white checkered. And I was kind of back in the field a little bit, and I knew I had to really send it in on that last pit stop, and I did, and I was able to get out ahead of him. And but unfortunately for him, it just kind of went to hell in a handbasket for him. But hopefully he'll rebound next week. But props to Eric there. Eric was able to hang in there and had a real good finish night, good points night for Eric.
Yeah, I think obviously Everett, I mean, doing really well in the point sittings. Obviously tonight may hurt a little bit, but not too worrisome for him, I don't think. And obviously Eric able to climb a little bit, hopefully above that cut line at the moment there. And obviously you've kind of extended your points lead even more coming into the night. 20 points over Cody Nagels, who couldn't be here. You were, I think, 40 points or more over second place. So that's going to be quite a bit of an advantage for you in the points. Obviously, you know, you still have to show up. You still have to contend and compete to be in a position to get to the playoffs, make the playoffs, and try to compete for a championship. But with that large of a points lead, does that give you any opportunities to kind of change up the strategy, or maybe do something off the wall, or something different, or is that kind of one of those things that you're not even thinking about and just going to continue to run the races that you always run?
Yeah, I mean, it does give you it opens up experimenting a little bit, but I don't mind sacrificing myself. But the goal is to get as many of our teammates to that cutoff point or to the chase at least. So yeah, it's fun experimenting, trying stuff off the wall. But the goal now is I think I'm pretty safe. So the goal now is to get the other guys up there as high as we can, and hopefully get us all in the playoffs. I mean, that'll be the goal from here on in, and we'll see how that works out.
Well, good deal. We'll
And
go ahead, Brandon.
Well, yeah, I just got with. So I was gonna also ask this. So as you guys, the team Bootnock is pretty big, and with as you start to get more guys in spots that's locked into the playoffs, do you expect the racing around you and how you guys, because as they know, you're trying to get as many guys that it amps up a little bit around you, and maybe the pushes are a little bit tougher later on in the race from these guys?
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, it absolutely gets more intense, and guys that are close to that cut line, I'm sure they're fully aware of their own situation. So they're going to be really trying hard to kind of get podiums, top tens, top fives, to secure enough points to make the playoffs. But yeah, our team's pretty big. We have some new guys, and it would be super nice to get those guys in the chase. I mean, to me, that would be a win on the season if we could get all our team in. I know it's probably not possible, but it would be really fun to get all those guys in the chase, and that'd be a victory for me.
Definitely. Well,
and
good.
and the team.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely good opportunity. Who knows? Like you said, maybe gets you a chance to try and help those guys out more now that you know that your situation's very comfortable. Obviously, there's no guarantees in it, but very comfortable for yourself with what is going to be a very commanding point lead. But yeah, definitely another hard-earned victory on the season for you. Decent points night for some of the guys on the team towards the cutoff line, and we'll roll out that red carpet now for any other thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give for that victory here tonight, Gabe.
Well, obviously, the teammates, man. It's always fun racing with the old crew and some of the new guys. It's a blast. You guys up in the booth, you do a fantastic job every week, guys. I really appreciate it. And all the Area 51 admins and of course everybody that tuned in tonight that was watching the race. We really appreciate the support.
Oh, I appreciate you as well, Gabe. Obviously, you get a lot of practice with these interviews, but it's so super easy to talk to you, real down to earth, and it's always a pleasure getting a chance to hear from you. So, congratulations once again, and I'm sure we'll be talking again very soon.
All right, guys, I appreciate it. And just real quick, another big shout out to Robert Hooligan there for the push there to the win. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely, Gabe. Well, congratulations, and we'll talk to you soon, man.
All right, gents. Thanks.
Alrighty, so that will conclude the activities on track for tonight. Before we let you go, we have to give you a reminder of what the rest of the season looks like. So obviously tonight is August 1st. We are going to take another off week here, so we'll be off next Friday. But we will return at Talladega Superspeedway on August 15th. Then we'll be back at Atlanta on August 22nd. Daytona Talladega September 5th and 12th, so we'll be rolling through the rest of the regular season. Just 4 races left there before we get to those playoffs, and we'll start giving you more updates on points at that cutoff line there. So no race next week, but in 2 weeks' time, Talladega Superspeedway once again here on Friday night. It'll be the same schedule for Sunday. Obviously, they've got a race in just 2 days now there on August 3rd. Then they'll take the same off week next week as we do here on Friday nights, and we'll be back again at Talladega on the 17th. So Daytona in 2 days, and then Talladega in 2 days and 2 weeks from now. So be sure to tune in. Gael Brooks should be running the show on Sunday night, and we'll have probably Brandon up in the booth again. So obviously a lot of fun as always for me to call the action here with you, Brandon, but always good to hear from you and Gael as well as another fun dynamic here in the series. But one last touch on the schedule. We had a couple off weeks, or we had an off week there for the Tuesday series as well. They're going to be back at Watkins Glen next week on August 5th. They'll take an off week with us as well, and then Auto Club will be August 19th before we go to Milwaukee Mile on August 16th, and then Motegi on September 16th. Sorry, Milwaukee Mile August 26th. Motegi September 16th, if I said that incorrectly the first time. But yeah, all sorts of fun action here tonight, and all sorts of fun action throughout the week here on Area 51. But before we go, Brandon, I want to hear from you. We definitely had, a very action-packed race. We got to see some green flag pit cycles, but we got to see quite a bit of cautions and a couple incidents that didn't cause any cautions. But even with all that chaos, 23 cars still finished on the lead lap here tonight.
Yeah, we definitely came to Daytona during hurricane season, but I think a lot of people learned a lot tonight. I think a lot of drivers, and Gabe confirmed it, with Bootknocker leading that 3 wide and really trying to control the race, and them drivers knowing now that, they're trying to get every single one of their drivers into the playoffs, and they're going to control lanes and try to do everything they can. And I think, the pushes are going to come way harder as the season goes on, and like you said, 4 races left. I'm not just gonna let these guys run around and control lines. I'm gonna push them and make them uncomfortable. So I think it's gonna cause more chaos and more exciting racing. And as a fan, that's sometimes what you want.
Yeah, that makes it fun to watch for sure. And obviously, as a racer, you do hate to see the incidents and the yellows come out. Obviously, it adds, to the strategy and, really sometimes the randomness that can be super speedway racing, and adds, does add to the excitement to the fans. And, from the broadcaster's perspective, it's fun to watch and fun to get a chance to call those things. And obviously, we get to see a lot of really great 3 wide action here tonight, and it's definitely exciting with kind of where the package is at, where the setups are at, to see these guys battle so hard even at Daytona, in the 3 wide pack. And I mean, obviously, it looks like an absolute blast. And who knows, maybe need to get in these trucks at some point ourselves and have some fun with it too. But yeah, it's definitely fun to bring you the action here at Area 51 for all of the leagues here. Obviously Tuesday IndyCar, and then Friday Superspeedway trucks, and Sunday Xfinity Series Superspeedway action. For us at Green White Checkered TV. Reminder to tune in on Sunday. You're going to hear the voice of Gael Brooks and my buddy here, Brandon Briggs, working together. Always fun to see those guys having fun in the booth and enjoying a good race, and hopefully we'll get to see that on Sunday. So yeah, for all of us here at Area 51 Green White Checkered TV, for myself, Boomer Logan, for again my good friend Brandon Briggs, want to say thank you. Have a great week, and we'll catch you in the next one.